Hello everybody and welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag. Apologize again for the air conditioner, hope it's not too loud. If you see me rubbing my nose, I apologize, but my allergies are going rampant and there's not really a whole lot to do about it, and if I want to get a video filmed I'm just gonna have to deal with it. And anyway, so I'm going to do this mid-year tag. It's really hard to think of things. I have read quite a few books this year. I think I've read maybe 100 or so, and a lot of those were actually sequels and stuff like that. And so, but I do have some favorites and some disappointments and things like that. So we'll just get into that. And the first question is best book you've read so far, and I can never just limit it to one book, so I have three. And the first one is 10 Days Gone by Beverly Long. This is the first book in the A.L. McKittrick series, and it is about there have been 4 murders in 40 days, so a woman has been killed every 10 days, and so they have 10 days to figure out who it is, or try to figure out who the woman's going to be so that they can save the woman or find the killer before the 10 days is up. And it was really, really good. I was really into it, invested. I really liked the characters. A.L. and his partner, I believe her name was Megan. And you get a lot of like their family dynamics as well. I believe A.L. is divorced and he's got a teenage daughter, and so of course he thinks about that while he's trying to find these killers. And then his partner is married and she's having kind of some problems in her marriage, and so you get a little bit of that. So you get some, dynamics of the detectives as well as the story. And I really enjoyed it, and I cannot wait to read the second book, which is called No One Saw, I believe. Then the next book is a classic, but it's a good one, and that is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, and this is one of her standalones. And I'm new to Agatha Christie. I haven't read very many, but I have enjoyed every one that I have read so far, and I believe this one's probably my favorite. It's a close circle mystery about a group who is invited to an island, and none of them know each other or anything. And then when they find out that there's no host, and there's a recording telling them about all of their misdeeds and things, they're really not sure what's going on and who this person is. And then when one gets killed, they start kind of being suspicious of everybody else, and then it seems like as they go, others keep dying, and they're figuring out that maybe they're not, any of them are going to get off this island. And it was really good, and the ending really sold the book. The ending was so surprising, and I really liked it. Then the next one that I have is a middle grade book. Since I've read a lot of middle grade this year, I wanted to include one of them. And this one is one that I just recently listened to, and it's called Mary Underwater by Shannon Dulesky. And this one was just super cute story about Mary Murphy, who is having a really bad home life. She has a abusive father. Her mother doesn't really do a whole lot about it, but she's really into science and stuff. She's a STEM girl, and she is really, engineering is one of her big things that she loves to do. And one of her teachers pairs her up with another. They have to do a project, and they're paired. And Kip, this guy that she never really thought much about, he wants to be her partner, and they build a little model submarine. And she was really into that, and then she decides that she wants to build an actual submarine that she can actually float through the ocean at their lake or wherever they're at, I can't remember. And she wants to go from where they are to like I think there's an island or something. She wants to go through there, and in doing this, she really learns a lot about herself and about her determination. It's a coming of age. It's a first romance kind of crush thing. Kip was my favorite character. He was always trying to make her laugh and make her happy, and then some really bad things happen, and they kind of have to deal with that. I mean, her father is really bad. She's a big fan of Joan the Arc, and she's her favorite hero, and so this is sailing this submarine is her Joan of Arc moment and everything. And once she does this everything, it changes like the dynamics of her life and everything, and it was just really cute, and I really liked it. Then the next one is best sequel so far, and of course, since I've read a lot of sequels this year, it was really hard to decide. This one is the actual true sequel because this is the second book in the Alice Vega series by Louisa Luna, and I absolutely loved her first book, Two Girls Down, and so I was excited to get this one. And this one is about two girls who they do not know who they are, and the police decide to bring in Alice Vega. She is really good at finding missing people, so they figured that she would probably be able to figure out the identity of these two girls, and it goes in all kinds of directions and takes her and her partner Mac through a lot of things, and I can't really say anything, but it is about human trafficking, so know that going into it, and it was just really, really good, and I cannot wait to read another book in the series. I cannot do a favorite sequels without mentioning the fifth book in the Veronica Speedwell series. This is A Murderous Relation by Deanna Raybourn. This is absolutely my favorite historical mystery series about Veronica Speedwell. She's a lepidopterist, I believe, and Stoker, who is a naturalist. I think that's what he is. He does taxidermy type things and stuff like that. And they always have adventures and mystery, and in this one it has to do with the prince and some other things, and it also has a little bit of Jack the Ripper in it, and I don't want to say a whole lot because it is the fifth book, and I'll just say it's really good. And then of course have to have another one, and this is the third book in the Revenge of Magic series called The Future King by James Riley, and I absolutely love this series. I actually read the second book this year too, but this one out of the two that I read this year is my favorite. A lot of action, a lot of adventure, and I just absolutely love it. I can't say a whole lot about it because it is the third book, but it's about Fort and the discovery of magic in present day, and only certain kids can do it, and of course there's the government who think that they need to do this, and Fort is not sure he likes some of the things that's going on, and he's got a ragtag group of friends, and he is trying to find his father, and so there you go, kind of a little bit, and it's very good, and gotta get going on this. Okay, so the next one is a new release that I want to read, but I haven't yet, and of course there are tons of those, but I am limited it to just two, and one would be The Blood Countess, and I know this is about a Madame Balfour, kind of I think a UA version or something. I don't know a whole lot about it, and I don't want to know a whole lot about it, but I do know that I would like to try it. It's by Lana Popovic, I've never heard of, so I'm hoping it's good. And then, of course, I have to read The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. I really, really want to get to this one. I actually have it on overdrive, so I am hoping to get to it soon. And I know it's about a group of women in a book club, and then their new neighbor, I guess, is a vampire, and so that's about all I know. It looks good, and I've heard good things about it, so I want to get to it. Then the next one is your most anticipated reads for the second half. And of course there are a lot of those too, but I do want to get to No One Saw by Beverly Long. Y'all saw this one coming, right? This is the second book in the A.L. McKittrick series that I just mentioned a little bit ago. And this one is about a child that goes missing, and it seems like no one saw. So, we'll see what happens. And, of course, I cannot mention, like, books without mentioning at least one or two cozies. So I do have a cozy that I want, if I can find the cover. There it is. And that is Murder in the Bayou Boneyard by Ellen Byron. And this is number 6 in the Cajun Country Mysteries, and it features my favorite dog, Gopher. And of course it looks like it's going to be October Halloween one, and I cannot wait to get to it. I really don't know anything about it except for it's a cozy mystery, so we know there will be murder and mayhem inside. And let's see, the next one, the biggest disappointments. Okay, I have a couple of those because I had to mention Killer Characters by Ellery Adams. This was the last book in the Books by the Bay mystery series, and if a cozy mystery has ever ended on a low note, it was this one. I absolutely hated the ending of this book. Everything was going well until the ending. It's not a cozy ending. So I was very upset. Ellery Adams is like one of my favorite cozy mystery authors, but she really disappointed me with how she ended this one, and just, you can ask my friend, I ranted about it for quite a while. I did not like it. An anticipated read. I really, really wanted to love this book. Everybody else I know really loved it, and I had a hard time finishing it. The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones just was so boring. It's very character driven, and I am learning that I do not like character-driven books very well. I like the plot, and I like little character, I don't, but whenever it gets too much, and I get bored, and this one was so boring. I felt like nothing was happening. I was so excited. I thought this was going to be really cool, Native American, folklore type, spooky book, and it wasn't spooky at all, and it wasn't good, and I almost DNF'd it, but I was buddy reading it with a friend. She absolutely loves it. She's going to give it like 4 stars. And I was like, okay, I'm going to keep going because she says it gets really good, but it never got really good for me. And I didn't like it. But, you know, that happens. And so, yeah, I was disappointed. And I can't go without mentioning The Stand by Stephen King. I started this last year, and me and my friend Buddy read this, and we finished it this year, so I'm going to go ahead and count it. It was very boring, very long, and it could have been a lot shorter and probably better, but I just didn't like it. So, yeah, disappointed. Biggest surprise. Okay. On the other end, my biggest surprise for this year would be Christine by Stephen King. I didn't think I would like a book about an evil car, and I absolutely loved this book. I listened to it, and the narrator was very good, and I can't remember who the narrator is. I never can remember those. But I kind of read along with the book and listened to it, and that probably helped my experience because his books are quite long. But it was just really good, and I liked it, and that lets me know that even though I don't like some Stephen King, I do like some. And so the next is favorite new authors. And I had a little hard, I was kind of having a hard time with this one, but then I decided, you know, I'm going to go with Louisa Luna, because, I mean, she is a new to me author. I just discovered her last year, and I really liked Two Girls Down, and then I really liked the Janes, and I want to read more from her, whether it's from this series or a different series or anything else. That I'd like to find something else that she's read, so I'm going to consider her a new favorite. And then I also have a new favorite for middle grade, and I read both of the, I think there's 3 books, 3, I can't count, 3 books in the series, but I have listened to the first 2, which is Winter House and then The Secrets of Winter House by Ben Gooderson. Can't speak today. And I really, really enjoyed both of those, and their mysteries and everything, and they were just really cute. So I do think I would like to find more out about him. So I do think that he could be a new favorite. And then newest fictional crush. I had the hardest time because I really didn't have any crushes so far this year, but I'm gonna go with Fletcher from Project Duchess. I really, really liked. Can't speak. I really did like Fletcher Pride. He is the Earl of Greycourt, and I just really liked him, and he was so broody and sexy, and so I'm just gonna go with him because I really didn't have anything else. And then the next question is new favorite characters, and so I'm going to go with, of course, Kip Dryer from Mary Underwater. I really, really loved him. He was just so adorable and cute. And then I have another one, if I can find it. Okay, I am going to go with Bernie from Mouse Watch by J.J. Gilbert. Bernie, she was just a really spunky, cute little mouse, and I absolutely loved it. This book was so cute. And then the next one is a book that made you cry, which I didn't really have one. I mean, Mary Underwater made me almost, but not quite. Okay, so I ran out of memory and I had to transfer the video and get back on here, so I don't know if the last one that I did got on here, so if I moved in any way, that'd be why. So we're gonna go back and do the book that made me happy, and I believe that would be Tessa Dare's Duchess Dale. This one made me laugh out loud. It just made me smile. I really, really loved it. I loved both the characters. It was a lot of fun. It was kind of a Beauty and the Beast type, and it was just really sweet, and I liked it. It made me happy. And then the most beautiful book you bought. I haven't really bought any books. I just don't have the money for it. But I have gotten some pretty books in the mail, and I did have this book, which is really pretty, and it was an e-arc that I got. Oh, it's really pretty. And I think this one is pretty, and this one is Sing Like No One's Listening by Vanessa Jones, and this is one I just got the other day, and I really like it. And this one's kind of pretty too. Pretty Funny for a Girl by Rebecca Elliott, and so those are some pretty ones. And the last question is books I need to read before the end of the year. Everything. I mean, come on, really. But I will mention a few of my e-arcs that I would like to get to before the end of the year. I have a lot of them, but I'm just going to mention 3 if I can find them. There it is. And that would be Deal with the Devil by Kit Roca. And I really don't know a whole lot about this one, except for mercenary librarians, and sign me up. That's why I got this one. I'm hoping it's going to be really good. And then can't do this without a horror book, and so I have Clowns in the Cornfield by Adam Cesar, and this one is about 2 different dynamics: the older people in the town and the younger people in the town. The older like the old ways, the younger ones wanting to do something different, and evidently there is a psychotic clown who decides that the best way to do things is just to kill the teenagers off, and then they'll have the old people. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. And I started this one and I never finished it, so I really need to get to it, and I really need to finish that one. And it's Titan Days by Dan Stout, which is the second book in the Carter Archives. Okay, I couldn't remember what that was. And it's kind of a noir, urban fantasy type, light, very light sci-fi, because it has creatures in it that are alien. But the first one was good, and I was enjoying this one, but I just put it to the side and never picked it back up, so I need to do that. And so that is all of the questions for that. Hopefully it wasn't too long. I do ramble about a bit, and I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.